Have you ever been so irritated by petty grievances that you try to lure a cryptid to come get revenge on your neighbor?
What the fuck are you talking about?
In the ever-expansive world of cryptozoology, creatures of folklore, legend, and myth are documented. Their traits analyzed by a series of biologists, anthropologists, and of course, teenagers with a drawing and a Tumblr.
What the fuck is this?
This community, when they're not working on their NSFW Crash Bandicoot fanfics,
Don't do this.
have several forums in which to discuss these creatures, like the Mothman, but also creatures of less notoriety, like the Mongolian Deathworm, the Jersey Devil, and of course, the Goatman. Technically, there's two Goatmen. One in Texas is said to lurk on a bridge where a black goat farmer was killed by the Klan. For the purposes of this video, that pretty much covers that story, except for some people who get spooked going over it.
Whoa, what the fuck?
The purpose of this video is on the axe-wielding, dog-killing, teen-slashing Goatman of Maryland. In the Northeast, the political heart of the United States lies in stark contrast to the rural communities in nearby Prince George's County, which plays home to the Washington Commanders and a lot of things that are unrelated to the Goatman that I'm not going to bother going into because that's not why you're here. And honestly, Maryland can suck it. Your state anthem is ridiculous, your flag is weird and it makes me uncomfortable, lemon sticks are gross, and Old Bay is inferior to Johnny's. Within Prince George's County lies the city of Bowie, which was named after legendary musical artist David Bowie, because, as is scientifically accepted fact, David Bowie was that much of a legend that they named a city after him well before he was born. In 1971, a writer for the Prince George's County News, Karen Hostler, wrote an article on the local folklore, myths, ghosts, and of course the Goatman. This article is the first media source on the Goatman legend. Described as a creature closer resembling a faun, a bipedal half-man, half-goat, mischievous more than malicious. However, only a week later, an article would be published about an interaction with the Goatman that had deadly consequences. A family living on the outskirts of Bowie started having sightings of the Goatman. They'd see him on the ridge above their property, or just beyond the tree line.
It wasn't until one morning when they found their family dog missing its head left in their yard that they reported anything, for fear of being mocked.
That'd be a hell of a report to give. Hi, officer, I need to report a crime. Yeah, someone stole my dog's head? Do you think they took the dog to the vet? I mean, no, right? This article brought a lot of people out of the woodwork with their own stories of encounters, sightings, and interactions with this creature. A lot of these accounts dispelled the softer version that was written about in the Hostler article, describing it as a creature with the head of a goat, giant horns, and an aura of an insatiable bloodlust. Like most stories involving cryptids, the origins of the Goatman are disputed. In one version, he was a goat farmer who was driven insane after a group of teenagers tortured and mutilated his prized goat herd. In another, it's more of a hybrid creature. Shao Tucker really needs to chill out on the whole chimera research thing. A third version of the story, which seems to be the more widely accepted, is that the creature was once a researcher at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. During some genetic testing, an experiment went tragically awry, turning him into a half-man, half-goat 80s slasher villain. The latter two seem consistent with modern sightings of this creature, a beast that brutally kills animals for seemingly no other reason than wanton violence. A creature that lurks in the dense woods, stalking teenagers that dare enter, or those canoodling in the backseat of a car on an isolated lover's lane. An axe-wielding monster attacking cars on lonely backstretches of country roads. The stories say that he lives in a salvaged, abandoned shack in the deep woods. The overgrowth is littered with pieces ripped off of cars and animal heads in various levels of decay. If I had a nickel for every story I've heard about a researcher living in a shack in the woods that was responsible for several people's death, I would have 2 nickels. Which, granted, isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened more than once. The legend of the Goatman persists in the region to this day. He tends to be an oral tradition passed down from generation to generation. Some believe that the modern telling of the Goatman is a retelling of old folklore myths, though I imagine you'd be hard-pressed to find any mention in Indian folklore about an axe-wielding goat attacking a Kia Sorrento. So if you ever find yourself sitting on a lonely creek out in the deep woods of Maryland and you hear the scream of a goat echo through the woods, will you let him know I'm looking for him? Because I have... Oh, actually, I think he got my... Yeah, he got my letter. Tell me not to use my leaf blower. Ooh.
Alright, guys. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, share this video around. It would help me out. And until next time, toodaloo.